All right. Good morning, or not good morning, good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing today? Let me know. Uh, I'm doing really well, and I'm excited about today's topic. So if you're joining me live, just let me know, say hi in the chat. And if you're watching the replay, just put hashtag replay in the comments. And I really appreciate when you guys do that. It helps me out. All right, so today I want to talk about the scale and why it's not the best way to measure your progress. So, this has been coming up a lot lately with the people that I've been talking to, and everyone just seems to be obsessed with what the scale says, and they think that that is the big determination. Like that is what how they determine whether they're doing well with their program or whether they're healthy or not. And and the truth is that your weight, it doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell the whole story of how your body is changing. So even if the scale is going down, that's not necessarily a good thing. You could be losing muscle, which you don't want. And so I think, we have to stop obsessing about our weight and every little pound that goes up or down. And I'm going to talk about why. We're going to dive into this today, and I'm going to give you some other measurements that are going to tell you the whole story instead of just a little bit of the story, like weighing yourself does. So, if you guys are excited about this, let me know in the comments. Put yes in the comments if you're excited to hear about this today. Um, so weight really, like I said, it doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't tell you all the ways that your body is changing. It only tells you one way. Um, and this is because fat has weight, right? Fat is does weigh something, but so does muscle, so does water, so do your bones and tissues and organs and all the things in your body. And so, if your muscle is shrinking, or if you're dehydrated, or if some tissues or organs are changing and becoming unhealthy or becoming healthier, um, it it doesn't really tell you on the scale, right? It only tells you general weight. It doesn't tell you what weight that is. It doesn't tell you why your weight is changing. What is changing? Is it your water weight? Is it muscle? Is it tissues and organs? What is it? We don't know, right? And this is why it's important not to just depend on the scale to tell you um, your progress or your health or anything like that. It's only a little part of the story. So, you know, the scale doesn't differentiate between these, is what trying to say. It doesn't differentiate between all of these different things that, have weight to them, right? So, the more important thing to ask yourself is, what is weight? What is your weight made up of, right? You also have to keep in mind that it's normal for your body to go through weight fluctuations. We don't always think about that. Um, you go through weight fluctuations daily, weekly, monthly, and your weight can go up to 7 pounds in a day, in a week, in a month, just based on um different things that we just talked about changing. It's not necessarily that you've gained fat. It could be that you have been drinking more water lately. It could be that you have gained some muscle weight lately. um it could be that your bones are getting stronger. All of these things And then just normal processes of our body causes our weight to fluctuate. So, and we shouldn't punish our body for that. That is normal, you know? So if you get on the scale, every day and your weight is going up, you shouldn't punish your body for that, you know? You uh, shouldn't punish yourself or restrict yourself based on what that number on the scale says, because you don't know what that actually means, because you're not getting the whole story. So, um, this is why I never recommend daily weighing yourself daily. I don't tell my clients to do this. Now, if they want to, that's their choice, but I don't recommend it, is what I'm saying. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story and how I came to this conclusion for myself. So I used to be obsessed with the scale and weighing myself at least once a day. And there were periods of time where I was obsessed. I would weigh myself 3, 4 times a day. I wanted to see the scale go down. I didn't ever want it to see it go up, and I became pretty obsessive about it. And I let the scale dictate whether I had a good day or a bad day. Um, and the truth is, back then, I was less healthy because I would restrict calories. I would restrict my calories based on what the number on the scale said. You weigh once a week. Yeah, I think that's a lot healthier, even once a month, because of all the fluctuations we go through weekly and monthly and daily, you know, but that's good, you know. Um, so yeah, I would restrict my calories based on what the number on that scale said, because I thought, okay, I'm gaining weight. I've got to cut more calories, right? I've got to restrict more. And what this did is it put me into a restrict and binge kind of cycle, where I would deprive myself for a while, you know, based on that number. And then I would binge for a while, you know, once I just couldn't do it anymore. I was tired of restricting. I was hungry. Um, I would just go on a binge because I felt so deprived, right? And so my weight was constantly up and down, and not just like the 7 pounds of fluctuating, you know, like water weight and different functions of the body cause, right? I felt like it was going up and down like crazy. Like my clothes, I never knew what was gonna fit me, you know, I never knew because my weight fluctuated so much, because I would have these binge and like these, restrict and then binge cycles, um, and then it made me crazy and obsessed even more with that number on the scale. So, um, you know, that's really what my story was, and why I don't weigh myself much, not much at all anymore, because I don't want to get back into that obsessive, you know, like obsessing about that number and everything. So let me know if you guys can relate to this. Have you guys ever been through this, like where you kind of became obsessed with the number on the scale, and how did it make you feel? Like, you know, were you starting to weigh yourself more and more like me, or let me know. I'm just curious. But so once I figured out that there were other ways, better ways of measuring my health besides the scale, it really changed everything for me. you know? And so I want to share these different ways with you. So then you don't have to just depend on the scale. You can try these other things and really see, okay, well, the scale isn't going down, but when I measure this, this is getting better. So I just think we need to, use more than just the scale to measure our health and our progress. So, the first way I want to talk about is taking measurements. How many of you guys take measurements like with a measuring tape? You could also use like a what do you call it? The thing where it pinches your fat. I don't know how accurate that is. They also have like DEXA scan things, but I have not been able to find one in my area because I've been wanting to get one of those for several years now, and I can't find one close enough to me. So anyway, but I just take measurements every now and then. And so and another way that this can work is like if you have like one pair of jeans or some kind of, a pair of tight fitting clothes that, you know, um you're like, okay, this is going to be a good measurement. If they're too tight or too loose, then I'll know what my progress is, right? But you could just use a good old measuring tape and just take measurements, because taking body measurements, it can give you a good indication of body changes such as fat loss. So sometimes the scale can remain the same, even when you've lost inches, right? I know you guys have probably heard this before. So some good measurements to take, like some basic measurements, and where we tend to lose weight, is the stomach, hips, thighs, and calves. So those 4 areas you could measure like once a month, I would say. I wouldn't say get obsessive about it because um you know, you don't want that to become like the scale where you're like weighing every day or you're measuring every day and it doesn't change, It's not weight loss is not going to be that quick. Or it shouldn't be. Healthy weight loss should not be that quick. So I recommend just measuring these areas once a month, maybe write it down in a journal or something. And just don't be obsessive about it because you never know what's going on in your body and what fluctuations are going on and everything. So but uh but measuring really measures fat loss a lot better than weighing yourself, because you tend to lose inches when you're losing fat, and when you're gaining muscle, you tend to lose inches. So, because muscle takes up less space than fat. So that is a good way to kind of track your fat loss, specifically. And you got to remember that fat loss is not linear. You're going to have ups and downs from week to week. It's never going to just go straight down. You're going to lose some and then go back up and lose some and go back up. And that's normal. Fat loss is not linear. So, I can tell if I lost weight if I can wear my clothes. I've gained since moving, so now I'm trying to lose. Hopefully, my clothes will fit now. Yeah, I mean, that's another way of taking measurements is just choosing, like, okay, every month I'm gonna try on this pair of jeans and and see how loose or how tight they are. And then you can kind of wage, what you need to do. Like, have you gained some fat or lost some fat, or what is your progress? So that's a good way of doing it too. um, so another great way to track your progress is to take progress photos. And I've really liked doing this one in the last year or so, because it tells so much. Like, especially if you take it in the same outfit, like I try to do I try to take mine in a like an exercise outfit, like workout outfit, because the leggings are tighter and the shirts are tighter and stuff like that. So you can kind of see your progress more in those kind of clothes. And just choose one outfit and like every month or so, just take your progress photos and just see the difference, right? And this has really helped me because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I don't know that I'm hitting my goals. I don't know that I'm achieving what I want to be achieving. And then I put on those clothes and I take the picture and I compare it and I'm like, wow, okay, I see a big difference now. And I didn't see it because, we see ourselves day to day. We don't see it all the time because we see ourselves every day, right? And so if you just compare those monthly photos, you're going to see the changes more. Um, yeah, yeah, I've really liked taking progress photos like I said, the past year or so. So what I would suggest is take pictures of yourself from the front, back, and side, like once a month. And like I said, when you compare the each month's pictures, you're going to see your progress. And even if your weight doesn't go down, like if you're still weighing yourself and it's not going down, um, you'll see it in the pictures, like I said. Like, I've done that so many times. Like, I don't really see the day-to-day changes, but then when I compare those photos, I can see it. And look, you guys, these pictures are for you, so you don't have to show them to anybody if you don't want to. Unless you want to, you don't, but they're for you. They're for your progress. They're for you to see. No one else has to see them. So, and then the last way, and one of my favorite ways, I like all of these ways, but if you guys know me, I'm into blood sugar and lowering blood sugar and all that, keeping it in a normal range. So my favorite way really is to measure blood sugar with like a glucose monitor. So, blood sugar, it says a lot about your state of health, right? If you are practicing, oh, you guys, I have something popping up. I hope I don't close because something just popped up on my computer. Okay. Um, so if you're practicing healthy lifestyle habits, then your blood sugar is going to reflect that, right? And if you haven't been practicing good lifestyle habits, then your blood sugar will also reflect it. So even if you're not diabetic, measuring your blood sugar will tell you how well you tolerate the food that you're eating, like on a consistent basis, like the foods you're choosing. But it can also tell you if you're active enough or managing stress well, because all three of these habits impact your blood sugar. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it's not just the food. Food impacts your blood sugar, but so does activity and stress. So that will show up when you take your blood sugar. So if you are eating a really healthy diet, if you're on some kind of really healthy plan, if you've been exercising a lot and your blood sugar is still high or it's still not in a normal range, then you've got to look at stress. You've got to look at it. Are you managing your stress well? Um, and then that goes for any of these. If you're managing stress well and you're getting exercise, but then you're winging your diet and you're not intentional about getting enough protein and getting enough vegetables and things like that. If you're eating too many carbs and your body's not reacting well to that, if you're eating too many for your specific needs, then it's going to reflect on that blood sugar monitor. So you have to consider your blood sugar when you're considering your progress. Because and look, you guys, I've worked with plenty of clients that are they call it like skinny fat, like they're skinny, but they are diabetic. And I know that sounds crazy, but there's so many of those out there, those people out there. And they come to work with me because, they're like, I didn't realize that I had a blood sugar issue. My doctor just diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, and I'm 100 pounds. How can I be diabetic? Well, you know, even though you may not be the kind of person that gains a lot of fat, um, you might have a low fat threshold. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that. We all have different fat thresholds. And so some of us can hold on to a lot of fat in our fat cells, right? Our fat cells can get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then some of us can't. Some of us, we have a very low tolerance to fat. And that's genetics and things like that. It's mostly genetics that cause that. Um, but you can still have high blood sugar even though you don't have a high flat fat threshold. So even if you don't think you're diabetic, or you are a very slim person, I would get my blood sugar measured. I would, either go get it measured at the doctor or get you a at-home monitor, which they're very affordable. You can get them on Amazon. Um, get that measured. Measure it at least every few months. But if you are like having issues with blood sugar, like known issues, you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, or it runs in your family or something, and you are at higher risk, then I would definitely be keeping an eye on it more than just once a month or once every 3 months. I would do it, you know, um, at least once a week. But really, if you want to know what your consistent blood sugar is, like after meals and stuff, I would do it, at least for a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks after each meal, before and after each meal. And then you'll know consistently what it is, like the average. So uh, that's something to keep in mind. And so a normal fasting blood sugar, let's talk about what it should be. You can look up these parameters and everything, but a normal fasting blood sugar is going to be under 100 milligrams per deciliter. That is considered normal. Um, and so if it's consistently higher than that, and that's a fasting blood sugar, that's not what it should be after you ate, right? It should be under 100 before you eat. So before you've eaten, like in the morning or before meals, if it's consistently under 100 milligrams per deciliter, then you're good. But if it's consistently higher than that, like before you're eating, when you wake up in the morning and stuff like that, then you probably need to go get tested at the doctor's office, so you can to just make sure you're not insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, type 2 diabetic. You want to get that number checked. And then so if you check your blood sugar before a meal and it say it's like 95, and then after the meal it's like 150, well, then okay, I'm probably eating too many carbs for what my body can handle or for what its needs are, right? So, that's why it's so important to measure your blood sugar. And that's really going to um, show you what your health is. It is. It's blood sugar is a great way to measure your progress and measure your health. So, uh, you know, I hope that these 3 ways are helpful to you. I hope you're not just depending on the scale, like, at least choose 1 more of these, but, if I were you, I would choose at least 2 of these, like the blood sugar, and then take progress photos or take measurements just so you get the whole picture of what your progress is and what your current health is, right? So I hope this helps you. And, you know, I just want to add that I'm not saying that you should never weigh yourself, right? So, yes, if that helps you, then weigh yourself, but I don't want you to get obsessive about it like I did, right? That's what I want you to avoid. Don't get obsessive about it, and, weigh once a month or once a week, but don't do it daily because that's just gonna, um, it's just not helpful. It's not helpful. So I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. But so if you want to see the whole picture of your health and the state of health that you're in, and your progress, then try these other measurements as well. And let me know what way you liked best. So I always want to know that, like, what tip did you like the best? What way of measuring your progress? Which way do you like the best? What way are you gonna try? So also, if you're needing more guidance on your weight loss journey, or your diabetes journey or anything like that, your health journey, I would love to chat with you more. So if you are interested in that, just put chat in the comments and I can reach out to you and we can have a conversation either over the phone or in the DMs and just talk about, your personal issues and things like that. And if you have any questions for me, I would love to answer them. So, all right, guys, I hope this was helpful and I will see you guys next Tuesday. All right, bye.